Welcome back into episode 71. So in last week's video you saw me putting the Radtech radiator in. That's fantastic, it fits perfectly, it's connected up, I've not tightened anything up, so this week probably the first job will be just to finish that off. And then what I want to get onto this week is doing the flex plate. A lot of talk online about relieving tension in the flex plate. Obviously mine's just going in fresh, so I don't really know what to do, but I want to start tackling that area and ultimately getting on to putting on the starter motor and the bottom of the bell housing. As ever, thank you for watching. Remember there's 70 videos prior to this one that some of them are quite good, some of them are me just laboriously taking an engine apart. But please go back and watch them. Click the subscribe button, help me grow this channel, keeps me motivated, makes me want to finish doing this car, and leave me comments, tell me what I'm doing wrong please, and what I've forgotten and which pipe goes where. I know I've got a lot of feedback about the pipe, so I'll fix all those bits on and then we'll do another pass of what pipes I've got left. But anyway, let's just jump into the video and see what happens this week. Right, this is the radiator thermostat. What I want to do is check that it works. So I'm just going to gently heat it up and watch the amount of resistance on the meter. Oops. I don't want to overheat it, but this should work. Should work. There. Okay, they're switched. So we just wait for it. As that's cooling down, it should trigger back then and go back to infinite resistance. There we go, back it goes again. I actually heard it click that time. So, and just one more time up just to double check. That should be enough. There we go. Back again, and again that'll take a little while just to cool back down, and it will click back. You put something cold and metal against it, will help cool it down quicker. There it goes, back again. You can actually hear it click. Perfect, so we know that works. So let's fit that back on the car now. Right, there isn't a huge amount to see with this one. I've put some cardboard in just to protect the radiator while I'm working around it. And of course I should have put this in while the radiator was out on the side, but I didn't. So let's just wind it in. I put the same sealant on the thread just to make sure it seals up nice. And I don't have the correct size spanner for this, so I'm on adjustables. See if I can get to it. I'm not looking to over tighten it, but that's quite nicely nipped up. And I've got the correct wire here. It's a little bit manky, but I'm sure it's fine. Just plug it in and we're good. Right, I just tightened up the bottom of the radiator hose. It's very tight to the power steering pump belt. It's probably maybe a centimetre between the two there, but it's pretty tight. I assume that's okay. I've twisted it around as much as I can. I think I just have to keep an eye on it. But it seems to be where it goes, so it must be right. So to tighten up the, this is the engine oil cooler. It's funny for me doing this stuff up because I was watching the video of taking it all apart really recently, where I actually bought this huge spanner. It was the bottom side, so it was the gearbox oil I couldn't undo. And it's funny tightening back up, so it's memories from back then. Right, I don't want to over tighten anything. I'd much rather it dripped a bit and I nipped it back apart later. Let's see if I can get down to that one there. Okay, in the same vein, I'm not going to over tighten. That's pretty tight. Oops, and just the two this side to do. Still no radiator damage. And I've also got the hose to put back on, so let's put on a bit of grease. So the radiator has little rubber mounts that needs to sit down onto it. It's not quite sitting down on this side, so I need to get a light under there and have a look, and then sort of manipulate it in. There. Okay, so now that's low enough, and the other side's already in, so it should be okay now. Right, back under the car for the first time for what seems like probably a month or two. Can't remember when I was last under here actually. Anyway, so what I'm looking at now, this is the flex plate. This is the pickup for the starter motor, starting ring. What I'm looking at is these bolts here. I want to make sure I've got the right sort. And order in any that I need. So I'm just trying to align the flex plate, which is not quite lined up. You can't see what I'm doing, can you? I'm just there trying to ensure it's lined up. It's almost, and I've got a bolt. Try and get it in that one over there actually. I've got a bolt that I'm hoping will just go through, but it doesn't quite. Sorry, it's very hard to steer. Aim under here. Let's have a look with the light. I think it's still, I think we're just slightly off. And the flex plate just needs to move across a little tiny bit. Really struggling at the moment. What I'm trying to do is rotate the flex plate so the bolts will line up, but I can't shift it at all. So I think what I'm going to have to do is take the spark plugs out, and from the crank rotate the whole engine and change the turn it from the other way around, as opposed to with the engine out I could just spin the flex plate round no problem, but I guess it's all sort of mashed up against each other now, and I can't remember if I put one bolt in at the top, so it might be that I'm just never going to turn it. I think it's the only thing I can do, just rotate the engine round, get it to line up that way, and then get some bolts in, then rotate everything, including the whole torque tube, and subsequently get all the other bolts in. I think that's what we'll try. Okay, plugs out. Should be straightforward. They're torqued up correctly, so they should be very hard. Imagine this is where it all started. One of these snaps, and we're back to square one. There we go, right, so they're fully out. And I assume I can just get on the crank. 27mm socket. And can we get on it? Yeah. But can we turn the engine? Yeah, we can. Okay. In fact, it's probably easier laying underneath because I can watch what I'm doing. Let's try and see if I've turned it far enough. So that looks to line up with one. So what I'll do, I'll pop a bolt in, which looks to be about an M6, maybe an M8. So all I'm doing is turning the crank there to make, if I can slide under, which is pretty tricky, to make these holes right in front of the camera line up, and they look like they do pretty much as I turn the sort of inner ring rotates. So I'm going to pop a bolt in there now and hope. I can't see if the other ones line up yet. I suspect they probably do. But anyway, that'll let me turn, and I want to get those two that are just off camera up there, get them down to the bottom so I can get bolts in those as well. Right, one bolt in, so I'm hoping, I'm actually going to put one more bolt in that hole just there and hope that when I turn the crank, the whole thing turns. I think it is, isn't it? So let's go around a bit more until those two holes are on the bottom. I can't actually see. You can see, I can't. So it doesn't feel very happy to rotate. I don't know why. I thought it'd spin quite happily. Something's wedging or something. Right, but anyway, I can actually get to this part of the flex plate now, which is what I was after. Because I can see it's a sandwich basically. You've got the starter ring, flex plate, and that. I put a bolt through all three and we're good to go. And then I just keep rotating it, doing the same. Brilliant. Right, what I'm finding is that the starter ring is grinding against the bell housing at the top there. So I'm going to try and get a nut in right at the top. It's going to be pretty tricky to get a spanner in there. And that will pull the ring and the flex plate together and hopefully clear the bell housing, and then I can sort of rotate the engine properly. So you can see my problem here. It's actually a nut, I've realised. So it's one I put through the flex plate and the starter ring just to hold them aligned, and then forgot. And then when I put the engine in, it's all become sort of trapped in here. So what I'm trying to do is just hacksaw through now. It's not a fun job, I'll be honest, but I don't feel it's right not to share that with you, because it's, you know, you like to see the trouble I get in. So I'm just going to sit here and hacksaw it through for 20 minutes, which is probably how long it'll take. Of course, the problem with doing this is I'm upside down under the car, hardly in the room, and my arm is burning because it's so hard. So I can only do little bits. Don't know if you can hear, I've got the added pressure of my cat banging on the door because he wants his food. Got it. It hit me in the mouth. Okay, there it is. That is the bolt out. So now I can do it all back up. Brilliant. Oh, painful. Right, that's much better. Now I've got that bolt out, it turns nice and freely, which is what I was expecting, because we checked this torque tube before and it was all fine. So happy with that now. I've got the stupid bolt. It took about 20, probably 25 minutes at the end to sort of just cut that out. So now what I do is just line this up with the holes, which is going to be about there somewhere. Rotate the crank all the correct way around now. Now I don't have to go backwards. Get the bolts in, torque them up. They go to 22 Newton meters, which I'll do all in one go, I think, while I'm under here. And then we're pretty much ready to put on the bottom of the bell housing. Right, so we just need to get this starter ring up, which should just go gently like that. And let's get one bolt in. My socket set's broken. Interesting. It's like a cheap socket set, I think. It's actually sheared the head. Wow. Okay, let me go get... have I got the replacement here? No. Be right back. What's that grinding on now? Let's have a look. It's top of bell housing again. Not very much, but it's definitely on it. Why is that? Maybe it's just a little bit left over from where it was grinding before. So I can work my way around one more time. Right, it isn't as easy as just banging them together, because you can see here the flex plate in the sandwich is sort of sitting proud, and it's stopping the starter ring from getting really close in, and that's causing it to grind up the top there. I don't know if I can get the light. So right up the top,
up there is grinding on the bell housing when this bit comes around, because it's that bit thicker because of that flex plate. So I'm going to have to undo it all and just realign it and make sure that the flex plate is perfectly sandwiched. Right, I'm very happy to report the flex plate is all done now. So what it was a bit of corrosion on each of these sort of legs of the flex plate. They come down into sort of a point here. A little bit of corrosion along the bottom side was stopping this starter motor ring from sort of clicking in correctly. So I just went around the 3 sort of prongs, 1, 2, 3, with the file, and just sort of took a tiny little bit off, and that now fits beautifully. And I don't know if I can demonstrate. No, I can't do it one-handed. I was doing it one-handed earlier. Yeah, there we are. So I can turn the engine. I don't know if I'll be able to get all the way around one-handed. It's like a challenge. I can't do it one-handed. But that's all done, all torqued up, 22 newton meters. So I'm pretty happy with that now. What I need to do now is look into how to tension up the collar here with the torque tube. I don't know how to do that yet, so I'm going to quickly go read. I know there's a lot of talk about having pressure on the flex plate. Now, obviously there's no pressure at all on mine at the moment, it's just straight. So I'm hoping I should be able to just do the collar up, I assume. But I'll go and quickly look at that. And then we can put on the bottom of the bell housing and get the starter motor sort of all lined up and wired up. I've got the wire here for the starter motor. Yeah, slowly getting there.
Well, I don't know about you, but I'm exhausted. That is not easy working under a car like that. Luckily I raised it up. I did actually do a bit of work with the car flat on the floor, you know, on the wheels, and that is excruciatingly bad. My cat's shouting at me now because he's hungry. Anyway, we've got the flex plate bolted up, it's torqued up. I didn't get around to tighten up the collar. I need to read a bit more about that. If you know what I should do with that, please leave me a comment. I don't know whether I should be pushing it back, pulling it forwards before tightening up that collar. I really need to know this. No one seems to talk about it. They talk about relieving the tension in the flex plate if it's all connected up already, but not about actually fitting it for the first time, connecting it up, you know, fresh. So please leave me a comment on that. Next week I am away in America, so I won't be doing a video, but the week after I'm going to get the starter motor and the bottom of the bell housing, which I can see on the wing over there, get that connected up, and put the wires onto the starter motor, put the wires onto the alternator, which are all just sort of dangling down there, and we may even go towards either fluid into the radiator, oil into the engine, or I might just do some more of the pipes up the top. But who knows, we'll just see where we get there. Anyway, thank you for watching. Click the like button, leave me comments, and please subscribe, and I'll see you next time.